Good afternoon. 1 minute to the top of the hour East African time. Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and even beyond the borders. Welcome to the broadcast live from Nairobi, Kenya. We have a lot lined up for you just to place you ahead of the Curve Matters news. But first, the highlights.
We will defend the right and the freedom of worship in Kenya, and it will not be compromised in whatsoever manner.
President William Ruto has said religious organizations will not be regulated since the Constitution provides for freedom of worship. A section of leaders from Kirinyaga have called upon President Ruto to reconcile with his deputy, Gachagua.
So my prayer is the same way they are talking with, or they spoke with, the former Prime Minister. Na wakakubaliana. Wakae chini na Gachagua, waongee wakubaliana.
Residents of Kerio Valley have been urged to embrace modern agricultural practice to mitigate the effects of climate change.
I'm therefore encouraging the leadership of this area to focus more on water conservation, which is part of addressing climate change.
Once again, welcome on board. This is TV47 News Now. My name is Moige. Starting off, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has apologized to President William Ruto if he had crisscrossed his path during his line of duty since they took office in 2022. Speaking during a church service in Karen this afternoon, the second-in-command asked his boss to find in his heart a place to forgive his wife, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, and himself if the two rubbed his shoulders while trying to serve the people of Kenya. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua said he has trust with independent institutions of Kenya, and during his impeachment process, they shall act accordingly to uphold the rule of law.
Called you by my name.
So my brother President William Ruto, if in our zeal to work, I have wronged you, please find it in your heart to forgive me. I want to say, if my spouse, in our duties for the boy child and our program, has wronged you in any way, find it in your heart to forgive her. To our members of parliament, if in the course of duty, through our utterances and actions, we have in one way or another upset you, all wronged you, find it in your heart to forgive me. If our brothers who did not support the president and myself in the way my region and the Rift Valley supported him, and probably you find that in appreciating our people and the support they give the president and I, probably our utterances made you feel uncomfortable. We did not mean bad. We were simply appreciating the people who voted for us. And if you feel that we rubbed you the wrong way, please find it in your heart to forgive me. I want to say that Kenya is a country of the rule of law. I have faith in our courts of law. We have competent men and women in our judiciary who I believe will uphold the Constitution, protect it with their zeal, and always uphold and protect the will of the Kenyan people.
In other news, President William Ruto has affirmed that the government will not regulate religious activities in Kenya. Speaking at the AIC Church Milimani in Nairobi, the president said that the constitution guarantees freedom of worship. The president, however, avoided the ongoing impeachment politics during the service. In the recent past, there has been numerous calls for religious activities to be regulated in Kenya. A task force report was handed over to the president.
Apart from what the Constitution provides, we are a God-fearing nation, and we will equally defend our faith. As Christians, as different religions, we will make sure that we protect the freedom of worship in Kenya. And I want to ask those who have ideas to allow religious leaders themselves to develop how they want to regulate themselves and how the church, how religious organizations are going to go forward. Because that was the recommendation of the task force I appointed under Reverend Mutaba Mushimi, that the religious body in Kenya will decide how they want to make sure that the freedom of worship in Kenya is protected. And I want to give assurance to the church and to the religious institutions in Kenya that we will defend the right and the freedom of worship in Kenya, and it will not be compromised in whatsoever manner.
All right, now back to the debacle of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's impeachment debacle, whereby Kirinyaga Central Member of Parliament Joseph Gitari has urged President William Ruto to reconcile with his deputy. Rigathi Gachagwa is facing an impeachment. Speaking at Kerugoya Girls, where he met primary school teachers, the legislator said the sideshows in Kenya Kwanza is not a priority to Kenyans, particularly from the Mount Kenya region, who overwhelmingly voted for this regime with the hope of reaping development benefits. So far, public participation has been conducted in the 47 counties before the National Assembly sits on Tuesday to debate Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's fate.
So my prayer is the same way they are talking with, or they spoke with the former Prime Minister, na wakakubaliana, wakae chini na Gachagua waongee wakubaliane. Let that one who has not sinned pick the first stone. Sasa. So when I remembered that, karamu yangu ikaanguka. Karamu yangu ikaanguka. Sasa sikuweza kusaini. I did not sign the impeachment.
Now, away from that, let us shift gears. The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Dr. Chris Kipto, has encouraged farmers in semi-arid areas of the Kerio Valley Belt to embrace modern agriculture, including irrigation, to plant fruit trees to enhance their lives and also contribute to environmental conservation. Speaking to TV47 when he visited the semi-arid areas of the Kerio Valley, the Principal Secretary noted that the residents of the area have a huge potential mitigating the effects of climate change. The Principal Secretary has also asked the leaders from the area to ensure that they build water dams and ponds for the residents and train them on how to venture into agribusiness.
We want them to grow more of the peach oranges, mangoes, and other fruit trees that do well here, including groundnuts that do very well here. And I'm therefore encouraging the leadership of this area to focus more on water conservation, which is part of addressing climate change. Because when it rains, we have a lot of water that does run off, taking away very important soils. And we need to do a lot of gabions, especially along the hanging valley. And then here we do a lot of water harvesting ponds. So At the background here, you can see this pan, and this is the way to go. You do many of such pans, you collect the water, and the people can use now to do irrigation. And then we do mass production. Then when you have scale, these people can be able to access the international market. And that is why we're encouraging Ministry of Agriculture to focus on good agricultural practices and certification, so that farmers here produce goods that can meet the market requirements for the export areas of destination, China, and under AGOA through US or EU market, or even the Middle East market. And then these people can earn foreign exchange for the country and also earn income.
Commemorating World Animal Day, Lamu County residents have been urged to protect and preserve animals for future generations. However, despite the county having a unique donkey hospital and treating them for free, it has emerged that the animal is being misused by locals. Additionally, it has emerged that the country's economy will grow significantly if animals are taken care of, which will also enrich the people.
Hii dunia inatutosha sote, binadamu na wanyama wetu. Ile inatakikana tu ni mpangilio. Wanyama waachiwe maeneo na binadamu nao wawe na maeneo yao. Kwa sababu ya vizazi vijavyo, itakuwa vizuri sisi sote tuwalinde wanyama wetu.
Kitu ningependa kuhusia watu wa Lamu ni kuwa watambue uwepo hawa wanyamapori, na pia waangalie hao wanaweza kutumia wanyamapori ili waweze kupata mapato, na pia waweze kuweza kucoexist na wanyamapori, kwa sababu tunaona tu wanyamapori ni maadui, lakini wanyamapori kwa upande mwingine wanaleta mapato.
Leo kama siku ya wanyama ulimwenguni, ungependa kuwahimiza wakazi wa kaunti ya Lamu kuwatunza punda zao, wasipate majeraha, wapewe lishe bora na maji, ndivyo punda wataendelea kuwa na maisha mazuri.
Sasa sisi kama binadamu tunastahili tuwasaidie pia wale punda wakigonjeka. Kama Lamu kuna hospitali ya paka, kuna hospitali ya punda. Punda akiwa mgonjwa anatakikana mpeleke hospitali ndio kesho akusaidie kufanya kazi.
Ndio nawaomba wananchi tuwalinde hawa wanyama. Hawa yakuwa ni kitego cha uchumi mkubwa katika kaunti yetu.
All right. And away from that, now let us look matters mental health awareness, whereby DAP-K party leader Eugene Wamalwa has called on the Ministry of Health to set aside budgetary allocation to curb mental illness and address the rising cases in the country. Speaking during the launch of an online mental health application called Ajala, Wamalwa stated that budgetary allocation will ensure there is enough sensitization and proper care for mental illness patients. Mental health illness victims have also emphasized on the need for people to come out and speak about mental health and challenges. The application is AI-based through phone calls and will allow victims to speak out about their cares and report mental health illness anonymously.
Very many mental health issues going unaddressed in our nation. Yet as a country, we have not allocated much in terms of budgetary allocations to address this issue. We've given more attention to more challenging medical conditions like cancer, and there has even been legislation in Parliament. But mental health is about time this area was also given sufficient attention.
I came out and I gave out my story. I told people about what is it that I'm going through, and I believe so far, so good. We are recovering bit by bit.
This is a program whereby you go to meetings where people share their stories anonymously, and then at least you get somebody talking about the same experiences that you have.
It's an app that you can dial a number. When you dial that number, it has levels of people on that platform. We have peer-to-peer. You don't know who you're talking to. If you're bored, you can just call that app and somebody will listen to your story.
And a section of education sector stakeholders in the country have praised the competency-based curriculum, CBC education system for what they said has since its inception contributed greatly to students' creativity. Speaking at Good Testimony Primary School in Embakasi, the education experts said they were ready to ensure the implementation of CBC system becomes a success, considering the government has invested a lot in making sure every child gets equal education. They highlighted that CBC uses a holistic approach of molding learners beyond being book smart.
Celebrating the competency-based curriculum which has come to life, giving children life skills, especially in cookery, choosing their careers and paths very early, occupying the children so that they do not go to the bad vices that the society normally presents to them early in life. They can be able to support their families and their homes by cooking and also making it relevant to their own social life and also by growing up.
CBC curriculum is really exposing them to a lot of things that personally, when I was growing up, I wasn't exposed to. It's opening their minds to a lot of things. I know there have been teething issues in terms of the rollout, but if you look at the content and what they are learning, it's really meant to be futuristic.
It's a passion of mine to cook, to create dishes, come up with new recipes, and many other things.
If you look like what we have done today in the cookery exhibition, there are so many competencies. They've also had that opportunity to showcase that what they like, they're passionate about. So passion is also part of it explains the happenings.
In other news, after months of human-wildlife conflict within Gitaru, Kamburu Dam Forest and their environs in Embu County, the Kenya Wildlife Service has launched elephant translocation from Moige National Reserve to the Aberdare National Park. Speaking during the flagging off of the first 2 jumbos to be translocated, Tourism Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano said that the crucial exercise will bolster human-wildlife coexistence. Approximately 50 elephants from Moige National Reserve will be translocated to the Aberdare National Park, an effort Miano said underscores KWS commitment to improving human-wildlife coexistence and addressing environmental degradation within Moige National Reserve.
I am very impressed at the expertise that I have seen and the experience from KWS team, and I wish the entire team every success. They have another 49 operations to do, and I wish them every success. This is the most, I think, the biggest experience I have ever seen in my life. I haven't seen anything like this. I am very impressed that you're doing something that is very noble, something that is historic. I want to wish you the very best.
I actually couldn't help but think this would have been an excellent tourism product to pay for. And I'm sure tourists would have paid a dime to see that. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So maybe in the future, if there's such a planned activity, we can bring tourists to come and observe firsthand how we do it.
All right, from Embu, let's head to the neighboring county of Kirinyaga, where over 25,000 coffee farmers from Kirinyaga and actually Embu counties have been trained on practicing regenerative farming in a bid to improve on their coffee yields. The farmers are specifically being encouraged to use organic methods of farming by doing cover crops or integrating trees among the coffee plantation. The program, which is being spearheaded by the Rainforest Alliance, is also encouraging the farmers to integrate animals and use the dung as manure for the coffee instead of using the normal synthetic fertilizer for their crops.
Nowadays tumeenda njia ingine ya organic, so yule ana ng'ombe, yule ana, ukiwa una ng'ombe unaweza hata uweke sungura ili tuwe na manufaa bora, tusiwe na makemikali hiyo tunatumia kwa mbolea kwa kahawa, tuwe organic. Sana ita improve the quality of coffee juu wakati hujaweka hiyo chemical ama hujaweka hiyo fertilizer, ukitumia hii
culture, hiyo sio mambo mpya, ni jina tu imeletwa, inaonekana kama ndio ni mpya, lakini hata wakati ule wa zamani tulikuwa tukifanya ukulima na kina shosho na guka, tulikuwa tunapanda vitunguu, tunapanda boga, tunapanda mahindi, yote ilikuwa inapandwa pamoja. Na ukitumia njia kama hivyo, hakuna erosion, hakuna kukosea kwa udongo. Sasa hiyo ndio sasa siku hizi tumeanza, na hata ikiwa ni upande wa wadudu, tunaangalia vile unafanya ile tunaita kwa kimombo integrated pest management.
Agroforestry, combining coffee farming with other fruit trees. We have issues on mulching, we have issues on soil conservation, we have issues on cover crops.
In a bid to bolster data security and safeguard citizens' privacy, the government has kicked off a data protection awareness campaign in Homa Bay County, led by the Office of the Data, or that is the Data Protection Commissioner. The initiative seeks to educate the public on the ethical use of personal data and promote the principles of data protection by design and default. Speaking at the event, the Commissioner, that is Immaculate Kasait, is underscoring the importance of protecting personal data through proactive measures while calling for stronger policies to ensure compliance and accountability in all sectors. This move is forming part of the ODPC's ongoing efforts to enhance the country's data protection framework in an increasingly digital world.
Intelligence and big data continues to be an ongoing conversation. From our office, we continue to say, please, as you embark on any journey on artificial intelligence, make sure that you have ethical use of the data and always embrace data protection by default and by design. So that even if you're talking about artificial intelligence, make sure that what leads you is that the data of the data subject is safeguarded. Information we want to go to the public. We want the public to know the rights of a data subject, and some of the rights of the data subject, right to access, right to restricted processing, right to erasure, right to rectification. Those are some of the rights. You as a data subject, what rights are you? The other thing we want to go to the public, if you have a complaint about your data being misused, you can report to us. As an office, would want to strengthen the issue, have regulations around audit so that we're able to collect our own revenue as an office. There are few, and this is the best time actually to review. But most importantly, there was a task force constituted by the Ministry of ICT. They have now come up with recommendations on how to strengthen the different frameworks in as far as ICT is concerned, including data protection.
Well, Clinical Mastery Institute has provided healthcare education to learners seeking global placement during their career open day at the CM Institute, Mudangari. Speaking during the event, Charity Yeya, the institute's principal, lauded these trainings, stating that it will provide an opportunity for participants to explore the CM's Institute's innovative approach to healthcare education, which blends theory, practical skills and international placement opportunities, adding that attendees benefited from their comprehensive training programs.
Lengo letu kuu ni kuhakikisha wale wanaopitia kwa shule yetu na wamekuja kujifunza kwa viwango tofauti wanaweza fanya kazi yao vyema ndio waweze kupractice in the clinical setting. Pengine ulifanya uuguzi na ukaenda kufanya kazi kwa sehemu ambazo si za hospitali, lakini sasa unataka kurudi kufanya kazi hospitalini. Tutakufunza the skills and then the key practical elements that you need to understand so that at least ukienda clinical area unaweza fanya kazi vyema.
A2, B1, B2. To apply for a visa, you need minimum to come to Germany, Austria and Switzerland. You need minimum B1, then you can start the process to apply